Alright, good evening everybody. Welcome to the channel. We'll get started here in just a second. Thank you for tuning in. I know I'm coming on a little later than my schedule says, but work ran a little long tonight, and then new puppy responsibilities. Sometimes they don't have clocks, so they don't follow strict schedules just yet. So it's a work in progress. But I appreciate you guys tuning in this evening. Even in Olympus, thanks for joining. Hopefully we'll get a few other people to join us, chat about the game a little bit and kind of where we are right now. Thankfully, Ferengi month number 1 is over. Now we're just doing Crucible of War. Did my daily for today. Alliance milestone is done. Where are we? There's not that big a jump here. It's just like 25 million extra. Is that? Yeah, that's not going to happen. Okay, so that number is pretty ridiculous. Alright, hope everybody did their Dabo pulls before the event store went away this morning. And it'll be interesting to see if we get that back in the next section of the arc. But so as I was mentioning in my stream on Sunday, we were talking a little bit about the capital traders and the level 60 systems, the big 49 traders. Depending on what your milestone is, killing level 49 hostiles, 286,000 points. Very quick and easy way to finish this up is to kill a few of them. That'll finish up your daily individual milestone pretty quickly. It does take a little while to try and find them sometimes if they don't spawn up, because they are so highly contested during events like this. But that is certainly a good way to get your event done if you don't have a lot of time to spare. Just hop over here to a system like Kronos or something and find some of these, not the heavy ones. I mean, the regular transports are ideal. Just Pike Moreau with a maxed Chen. If you have her, should be able to get through a couple of these guys. If you don't have maxed Chen yet, maybe at tier 4 you might still be enough to get 1 or 2. But her being maxed really does make a big difference. The other crew that I did recommend, if you're having trouble killing these, you can use Barely Crusher as captain with the original Mud. Whoops. And then Talon will work pretty well. Well, you use Chen on the regular Klingon transports. You would use Talon if you're going after the heavy ones. But quick and easy way to get your event finished up. Let's swap this out here. We need to go get some crystal. Do. While we're at it, let's stock up on some extra 2 and 3 star isogen. The Meridian with Quark as captain. Quark himself adds the protected cargo, as do my other officers here with T'Pring and DuPont. So my protected cargo is now just over 127,000 between the research, tier 7 Meridian, and 3 protected cargo officers. So that can kind of leave that alone for a little while. But otherwise, not a whole lot to do in the game in those in-between arcs. It's a good time, of course, for faction grinding, for stocking up on other things you might need. Let's use this one. Any data mining you might need. Stocking up on some Eclipse kills and tokens, which I'll go get. Actually, let's switch this. Where is Stan? Let's add him. Don't really need too much strength because the Stella does all the work and the research does all the work for the Stella. So we'll use 5 of 11 to increase my Eclipse security codes per kill. Use stun so the ship can hold more. We'll get this done pretty quick. So I need 300,000 a day. I'm at 295,000. So I'll do 2 or 3 runs with this in one hull. Stock up on that a little bit. Probably just do a little faction grinding here because we're getting closer. We're up to 739 on that quest for 1 billion. Quest for 1 billion. Seems like so far away still. And yet I'm almost 3/4 of the way there. And since I'm also working on Federation Rep, we'll try and get some kills in Taiga Core. And only 100 million to glorify there. If they'll do a Doomsday event before the next arc because they gave us tokens, they did give us some Doomsday tokens. Now I know the Battle Pass event the other day was Doomsday related. What did they gave us these Elite Doomsday Trans Warp Cells. Could be good foreshadowing if they want us to go to this wrong side. Any of these locked out systems that require the tokens to get to. It's this one. And then you've got the other ones down here in below augment space. A couple of these locked out systems that require the tokens to get to. These are more for, these have more exclusive worms and things to kill. It's not like the armadas are in the common systems, and they're actually marked, which is nice. So you don't accidentally go to the wrong ones. They have the little armada symbol in the title to let you know, hey, these are just armadas only. Yeah, I was wondering if they were just feeling guilty about throwing us another, battle pass event, killing worms, and that needed a lot of points, and that the systems are going to be too crowded. So then they're like, well, let's give everybody some tokens so they can get to some bonus areas. Kind of spread out the server kills, but maybe they might do some type of event. That's an interesting thought. Alright, in the meantime, let's kill some 40s. These are only supposed to give me 1,579 codes, but between Stella Research and 5 of 11 here, and the Stella itself, that number should be like 10 times. I got 20,000. There you go. So 7 kills and my should be just about full. And by that time, this guy should be all the way out to Taiga Core. Now, of course, Tuesdays there's no territory captures either, so again, it's sort of just a bit of a lull kind of day. But it was nice that the changes they made to the Latinum Rush event, putting Quark Shards, making him now sourceable, so he will be readily available. You can get 2 shards a week, much like you get a couple of con shards and whatnot from the Swarm Sunday events. So that's nice to see that at least there's an option, a path to get more Quark Shards if you didn't unlock him, or even if you did and you want to start, tearing him up, because it's his officer ability. It's easier to do it this way. It's his officer ability. That'll get increased significantly, which is mining speed, which is just generic mining speed. That'll let him sort of outpace some of your other mining officers. You know, close to tearing up Fez as well. Still didn't unlock Arik though. The RNG was not kind to me. So if there's waiting whether he'll be in the event store at the end of the arc or something else. We'll see how maybe there'll be in the battle pass, or see if there's new Ferengi officers they add, and then just have to wait until the end of the arc to pick up the remaining shards that I need to unlock Mr. Arak. But typical events for that, we'll expect the next battle pass to start a week from today. That would be March 8th, run for about 20 days through the end of March. And typical events, we're in Crucible right now, and then probably a faction hunt, and then maybe an Apex event. Could be possibly they mix in something with Doomsday Worms for 2 or 3 days, the way they've mixed in things with the Borg in the past. You never know. They like to keep you guessing, right? Just when you think you know everything, they when you think you have all the answers, they change the questions. Tiger Core is pretty crowded tonight. Just because I'm curious, I know I did my refine today and I got amalgam parts. Can I actually upgrade anything? I can. I can upgrade 1 or 2 pieces. Alright, let's do the warp drive. And what's that? That's the impulse engines. Okay, so I can only get the one. So I still need about 5,000 parts. That's not going anywhere anytime soon. The other thing I noticed in the Latinum Rush leaderboard, which I don't know how it was for you guys. My particular bracket was ridiculous. Let's see if I can still pull that up from yesterday. Yeah, so the solo leaderboard here, the top spots were, in addition to giving out Devore parts and all of this wonderful gas and dilithium, which looks like these rewards got increased, I was also giving out Fisha parts as well. So not nearly the same quantity. Looks like it's 10% of whatever they gave out for the Devore. They gave out additional parts for the Fisha, but the the numbers involved to get top three in terms of mining were pretty ridiculous. 550 plus million in terms of mining, even with using the Fisha at 50 points. That's still that's a lot of concentrated latinum. What's that? 10 million latinum. Yeah, that's almost 12 million. That's 11 to 12 million latinum, concentrated latinum that these guys mined. That is a lot of mining. I know my Fisha tier 1 still only holds about 50,000, even with protected cargo officers. So that'd be a lot of trips back and forth, and there aren't really systems you can park near. You can park near a few systems, but there aren't really there are regular Latinum systems that you can sort of park in, but not many that you could park next to for concentrated Latinum. So like the concentrated Latinum systems, you know, Gorath and over here in Nomad, like you can't really get quite near these. This one you could a little bit. QVEC, You could kind of set up a base like in this area, and then it's a pretty short, maybe you get a Morska if you're lucky or whatnot. And that's a short trip, um, but not like the Latinum systems, the regular Latinum systems, where you can actually just set up shop right next to one and just keep running back and forth. Yeah, the dilithium reward is pretty big too. I mean, they're giving out what 200 million dilithium for first place. Yeah, 260 million dilithium. Even you know 6 through 10 getting 52 million, and then a decent amount of gas. 52 million dilithium is certainly nothing to sneeze at there. It's a pretty good research upgrade at 52 million, or a bunch of ship repairs for some big ships. But I know obviously going forward that it's going to be a continuous event. That's the way our Latinum rushes are going to sort of run now, with these improved rewards and the solo milestone. Also felt like it got a little bit of a higher payout. The solo milestone here, given out the two quark shards, which we like, but I feel like, and I'll have to go back and maybe I can find an older video where I happen to talk about this to see what some of these rewards are like. But I feel like these numbers got tweaked and increased slightly as well in terms of the par steel and the ore numbers. So, I mean, the event needed a big upgrade, and obviously, with the new ship contributing to it, it was a good opportunity for them to sort of overhaul the entire event and cross it off the list of things that they need to upgrade. There's still, like, quite a few other ones on there. I'd love to stop getting kicked out of the game, 2 or 3 times a day. That would be nice. Can we fix that? Seems like since January, the game has had a lot of little random glitches and crashes, whether you're uh, trying to attack somebody, trying to change systems, trying to change mining nodes. Oh, that's true. If you don't have a Fisha yet, your event did not upgrade. That's a good point, Olympus. Thanks for pointing that out. So if you don't have a Fisha yet, you still have the traditional regular events for both the leaderboards and the regular Latinum Rush. Once you unlock the Fisha, then this all changes, including your point total, which goes up to, from like, I think mine last week was like 2.8 or 3 million. So now it's 27 million. I mean, obviously they changed the scoring, and the concentrated Latinum is kind of what they were uh, pushing everybody towards. Like, this is why you have your Fisha, so go do this stuff. But if you haven't unlocked that ship yet, because either you aren't level 35 or you didn't have a maxed out Devore to scrap, didn't want to spend $100, then you are still getting the regular rewards for now. But yeah, he would definitely be, Quark would be very helpful to people who are under level 35 and don't have a Fisha yet for sure. You'll just have to unlock him through a more traditional route, I guess, whether it was the auction events, leaderboards, or the battle pass, or as typical cash. Cash. He's not in the store right now, but maybe they'll bring him back next month when they launch part two. But they currently are not going to be getting any of my money this month. There's too many things that they need to fix. I don't know if anybody's been in a territory battle lately, but when it's a contested fight, the lag in the systems is just ridiculous. You get stuck in combat for 20, 30 seconds at a time. You click on a guy, you start moving toward him, and And then all of a sudden, like, he's on the other side of the system, and you're just like, oh, he was never there to begin with. What do we get? Oh, looks like we are only going to get 2 hulls out of this group. That's fine. We are getting experience though too, because I was only level 43, so we'll get this to 44 probably here before we're done. And then we'll send it on home. Probably make one more hull trip then, come back twice. That should stock me up for 2 or 3 days. If you didn't do your syndicate, don't forget to do that. I usually do all my stuff in the first thing in the morning, so. But occasionally there's some things that sneak through, and then you don't realize it until like 6 o'clock. Like, oh yeah, I never claimed my bonus PC chest because I haven't been on my computer all day. And then you completely screw up your timer. Alright, so my alliance finished Crucible. I took the Armada reward pack, especially at my level, being able to go into deep space and do a rare Armada. I can get 60 to 70,000 rare Armada credits for a level 44. I think that's what it pays out, which is enough to do, 2 of these pulls here. It's got a good amount of 3-star resources, which I'm still trying to upgrade some G3 epic ships. Still trying to upgrade my Augur and my Enterprise a little bit here. So these resources are not, I don't get them from events anymore really. They're in the battle pass, but the regular events now, since I'm above level 40, I really only get 4-star materials. Also, the 4-star chests don't give epic directives either, so being able to get these to run epic armadas is pretty good. The G4 rare pack has some interesting officer shards in it, but otherwise it's credits, command badges, very limited amount of epic directives, and repair speed ups. And I mean, look at what you're investing for it: 130, 260,000, and you're trying to get Lorca, who's now available otherwise, 5, 10, these guys who are Curon, who are now available otherwise. You're really only opening this box for these rare cores, and that price is not worth it. The epic one is, though, because the epic one has some ship blueprints in it, but it does cost 50,000. Maybe we'll try and run an epic. See if I can't get this cashed in here. Maybe we'll get a lucky pull on stream, right? Maybe I'll get a Bachor. Get a G4 miner out of the deal. I don't know. But you do get... You've got a chance at the rare cores here. They're not guaranteed, but they are available in larger quantities. And then you also have some G4 resources available as well. Mostly here for the ship blueprints. I have a Kelvin. Last time I opened a box, I think I got 2 Kelvin blueprints, and I was like, of all the ships they could possibly give me, why on earth would I need Kelvin blueprints? Alright, so you're on your way back. But maybe I'll see if I can find... Maybe I'll see if I can find an epic. We'll swap these guys around. We'll send the discovery out. What's the warp range? Am I at 110? 110. If I put Grush on it, does it get to 120? 119. Ah. Alright, let's put Scotty on there for a minute. That should be more than enough. So Grush is only tier 2, right? Yeah. Okay, so let's see what we can find. Out in deep space. Let's start with the Klingons first. We'll go the slow way. Streamer luck is real. As you know, Scopely has to show they're being generous, right? They have to, oh no, no, it happens. Somebody unlocks a full jellyfish, right? They say it happens. I don't think anybody, if it's not on camera, then did it really happen, right? So let's see who's around. And see if we can't get one of those going. In the meantime, let's get him going for at least one more trip. Because it'll take 10 minutes to get the discovery all the way out there. But overall, this Ferengi arc really wasn't all that interesting. And, you know, there had a couple cool little gimmicks to it, but the overall presence of it was not good. So we'll be curious to see what they have in store for us next week. I can't imagine they're just going to pivot and just dump the whole Ferengi arc and just throw away the content. That doesn't seem likely. But see if they do either find a way to make the content more interesting with the events that they do, or whether they just increase the payouts and the rewards to make people like, all right, well, we know these events suck, but here's, you know, 20% more crystal and ore and stuff than you normally would get for something like this. Oh, 158,000 almost. By the way, if you're ever trying to figure out if a player's online when you hit their base, good thing to just do is just take a quick remembrance of either their alliance helps sent or their hostile ships destroyed, and then, you know, come back in like 5 minutes or 10 minutes while you're waiting for their 10-minute bubble to go down and just check those numbers out again, and then you'll know, oh hey, that guy's helps went up, he's online. If they give me a few gift chests with some epic and rare directives, they'll hear no complaints from me. Sure. You know, they put some rare directives in last month's battle pass, but it was in the bottom half, the elite path. They put 210 down there, which, you know, not really a lot. And when some of the events that they want to do require you to set multiple armadas to do it, uh, yeah, it's not the most efficient or practical thing. Let's see. Doesn't seem to be a lot of people online right now. but sometimes we just need to ping people on Discord. So let's see if we can do that real quick. Let's see what we got. All right, so Nova's available. He's a 47. He's got like a 15 million-ish Pilum. That would be a good starting point. If you're the guy setting Deep Space Epics, Troy is your friend, and it's a good idea to bring her, especially if you're going to be asking people much bigger than you to help keep their repair bills down and things like that. So I will switch my crew around to her in a minute to include her, make her the captain. Armadas have about a 20% starting crit rate, so if you use Troy to reduce it by 15%, it's permanent. It's one of those things that applies turn one, so even if you're the first ship, you get shot and killed turn one. The rest of the Armadas are basically crit free because it lowers their chance to like below 5% or less, depending on if you also pair her up with a synergy officer. So always a good idea to bring her if you can. Okay, that should have done it, right? That got me to 44, so just 200,000 more to go. And if I'm getting 4,000 or 5,000 a kill, what are we getting? We're getting 5,000 a kill, so 40 kills, and then this Stella will be maxed out. Well, we're waiting for our Discovery to make the trip. No point in, I mean, I could just disco jump out there, of course, but no point in wasting the resources if just to find out that there's nothing there, nothing to even consider setting. But I think February was not a good month for customer morale, shall we say. So we'll see what they do to try and lure us back in. They made us spend a lot of money to get the amalgam. They made us spend money, possibly to get a Fuchsia. They made us spend money to do this. They made us spend money to do that. And people really weren't overly happy with the value they got for what they spent, the content they got. If you read through some of the Discord pages and things, you can see there were a lot of complaints. They did make a few adjustments midway, you know, kind of evolving, showing that they are at least paying attention and trying to make some improvements. But now that they've had a little bit more time and they kind of have like a week off here to sort of recoup, we'll see if there's anything that's a little more groundbreaking or earth moving. But in the meantime, we'll just keep grinding away. Where are we at? 98, 260. Yep, not getting much response on Discord. It is kind of dinner time, so for a lot of people, if you have families and kids and stuff, you gotta get everybody fed, spend a little quality time with the significant other. Or depending on your time zone, you might still be at work. These are something that could use a little bit of an upgrade as well. What's in the free chests? That could use a little bit of an upgrade. This gold trophy or recruit box for Crucible could use a little bit of an upgrade. Because these are just the original officers that were in the game, basically. This is everybody back on day one. I did max Marcus this week. That was a big. That was a big. A big push. Was very excited about that. Now I obviously need the ship XP, or the officer XP to actually tier him up all the way to boost his stats. The 26,000 Federation credits needed to tier him from tier 4 to tier 5 was also a bit pricey, but it's consistent at least. That's what epic faction officers cost. Alright, so there is a 45 epic up. There is one available. In the meantime, this guy's doing an Eclipse Armada. Alright, I need to move some people around anyway. So let's do this. Just in case. So I would want Troy. I would want Lorca. And then usually, depending on... Troy's ability herself reduces the crit chance amount by 15%. You don't really need another officer with her, like a Beverly or a Riker or anybody, to boost that further. Usually I put 5 there, just to make sure I get more credits out of the deal. But I don't like having this empty spot there. So I'll just find anybody to throw in there for now, I guess. And we'll just put Kumak there for stats. Because then over here, I was doing a little PvP this morning, doing a little base defense. Alright, so we usually use Con. Usually I use 5, 6 in Con, but if I'm going to need 5 for the Armada over there. What's 6's captain ability? Hits an opponent with a weapon, he decreases their shield health. Yeah, but he's weird. Something about him doesn't quite work right. Maybe we could just use some exchange officers, right? That's not going to do it. We're going to spend all this time trying to crew, and we're going to miss the Armada. Let's just throw up put her there for burning for now. Call it a day. This is not a good crew, by the way. But now the question is can I even make it to here? It says it's only going to take me 3 minutes. So we shall see. In the meantime, Quark is OPC, so let's bring him back. This is a big one too. This is a 37 rare. That one we're definitely going to need some help on too, and I don't think this one's actually going to go through. I think probably going to get blown up pretty quickly. I wasn't seeing a lot of big players in my alliance online to help with my epic. So why you would just randomly blindly set a 37 rare. The 37 rares are actually harder to do than the 35 or 37 epics. They hit so much harder for some reason. Not exactly sure why, what goes on here, but you know, I'll take a group and fail at a 37 rare, and that same exact group will crush a 35 epic, or even sometimes a 37 epic. But we'll hope somebody else will show up. Otherwise, well, it's a Stella. Stella repair bills are not that high. And in the meantime, just keep mining away. Stock up, stock up, stock up while you can. Yeah, with the number of events they've had the last couple of weeks, it's been hard to find some of the deep space epics. They take, the standard 9 or 10 hours to respawn, and they're only in 3 systems, as opposed to there being in a few more in some of the 39 and under systems. But I just feel like I'm leaving so many Armada credits on the table by doing one of the lower ones. I get more for the kill because my ship is doing more of the damage and more evenly involved in the damage of the Armada, but the chest you get for setting is such a huge difference. Anybody else show up? Nope. Just us two. We are going to get blown up. We're going to do like a sliver of damage to this thing. Yeah, usually when you're just blindly setting... Wow. That did way more damage than I thought it would. Say, usually when you're just blindly setting an Armada, you'll start with one a little easier to do. What crew did he have? He had the typical... Okay. So let's see this battle log. What happened here? So she did burning. He hit a bunch of crits right off the bat. I hit a couple of crits. Our cons got boosted. This thing did not hit back as hard as I was expecting. This fight went 13 rounds. Which one of us died first? He's got no shield health left. He's taken all hull damage there. This Armada's really picking on Chan here. Oh, I've got no shield health left either. Which one's of us is going to die first? We both going to die at the same time? A lot of shots. We're doing a lot of crits here. Maybe I should have just used mud. Yep, Khan's kicking in big time. Crit, 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 crit. There he goes. He gets destroyed. I crit 4 times in a row for 2 million damage. This thing has no shield health left. This is just all hull damage. So yeah, 4 crits, 4 crits. This is just critting for straight 400, 400, 400,000 hull damage. This might have actually been a decent time. Her tricking burning certainly helped as well. This would have been a good time to do like this crew. If this thing's only shooting once or twice around, I have the built-in mitigation from... She still works for that, right? Fighting hostiles and armadas, she restores shield health. Yep, she does work on armadas. And he just says when the shield gets dropped. We'll see if he wants to set it again. If not, I will. We're heading in toward the ending of our stream here. We'll probably wrap this up in 10 or 15 more minutes. Obviously, if you guys have any topics you would like to talk about, bitch about, complain about, feel free to throw them out there. Otherwise, we'll just keep doing what we're doing here, see what else we can find. See if we can't get that exchange armada down. See if anybody responded to my Discord post. See if they're... Nope. Not getting much of a response. So must be like dinner time or whatnot. So nope, Discord's pretty quiet today too. I think everybody's just sort of taking it's kind of a day off from the game, so might as well just sort of not much going on. Like you said, very few events. What was the 6 o'clock event? I don't even. It's more ship XP. What do we got? 68,000 ship XP. Okay, this is a good one. This one's given gas and 1 rare, which I do need rares. And then we got a station event here. This one's paying out pretty minimal. So we're not going to do that one, but 68,000 ship XP, huh? We'll let that guy have the 38 he was moving to, and I'll just go kill these 40s. Okay, cool. He started it up again. We should be able to get this one. Can always use more Eclipse resources. Always use more to cash in for these uraniums. Gotta keep leveling up those Stellas so you can keep turning around and scrapping them so you can get the resources that you need to do your research. So then your Stella gets stronger, so then you can tier it up faster to scrap it for your resources. Yeah, it is just a perpetual cycle, it seems, but there are some good researches in here. There really are, in this outlaw tree, that use Stella particles. So it's not just like the piercing stats and the defense stats that require. There's a couple of good ones like ship component efficiency, making everything cost 1% less. But it takes, a good amount of Stella particles. And a lot of dilithium. Yeah, power steel's not as bad to come by. Highway robbery gives you bonus loot from the Eclipse enemies. But it also leads to some of these Armada ones here. Stella targeting obviously boosts the Stella, but this one, yeah, you have to get these up in order to be able to do the more efficient cut down on ore cost for buildings and station and research. Same thing over here, obviously, with gas. And gas building. Need to keep these upgraded. Station targeting and strategic exploits and eclipse targeting. And these all require Stella particles. don't think I did a research today, did I? Nope. Do I have anything quick and easy? Here we go. This was just a 6-day one. Yeah, we'll just do that. So do we have anything in here that we want to do real quick that doesn't require stellar particles or a lot of resources? Probably not in this tree. We probably want to be working territory. I need 200 and something thousand. We're only at 130 for the next round of territory researches that I want to do. What about away team? Do I have enough away team? I've got 73,000. It's not going to be enough to get me some of the ones that I want. Nope, these all need quite a big 235,000. Alright, so those all need quite a bit. Combat tree, these are just very resource intensive. These take large chunks of gas and whatnot, and I am not producing that right now. Ba-dum-ts. So in the meantime, we can do things like battleship warp, increase my warp speed, but 50 million dilithium is a pretty steep price for some of this stuff. So usually when we throw in something like, even I want to just throw this away to increase cloaking duration, it's still 17 million dilithium. Here, cloaking duration for Romulan ships. Alright, so it looks like it's just going to be the two of us again. Well, hi, Andy. You're on Asia Pacific's 195 and you just merged with 197. Server merge, huh? Those always sound interesting. I know when they do that, they reset all the territories. I don't know what happens to your. Do they just move your base, I guess? If your base is in the territory, do they just move it somewhere else? But then I know there's always a whole big process, and then you have to deal with two servers with possibly competing or conflicting rules of engagement and how that all is going to go. So it sounds like it's going to be. It's usually like it's interesting because it adds a whole bunch of new blood to the servers, but then it's basically just sort of like a war for dominance, right? It's the 195 alliances kind of go after the 197 alliances, and then whoever wins kind of gets to set the terms. But that certainly seems terrifying and exciting at the same time. I know right now my server, we're trying to change some rules because some of them are just getting, you know, our rules of engagement just keeps getting longer and longer. And one of them currently right now is that there's no PvP in deep space. That's it. No PvP conflict of any kind at all, unless there's an event specific, like a Latinum Rush event that requires you to kill in a specific system that happens to be in deep space. But otherwise, there's no PvP out there. So in the lower level systems, people just kind of park on the nodes all day and all night, and it gets a bit difficult to find some, gas and ore nodes in these first tier of systems here, because people are just camped, especially on like a Sunday night or a Monday. People preloading, basically just running up, and then they just park zero node all day. And it was something that uh, a lot of us are starting to complain about and see things about, and it would be nice if it changed. I don't know if it will or not, but That would be something that different servers have different rules on, and if you're expecting that and now your server merges, now you don't have those protections because your other server comes in and they just start cleaning house. That things could get a little messy. Yeah, so this is your second server merge. So you've merged previously. Like, did one of you merge with 196? Because I noticed that one's gone. Yeah, deep space gets more and more crowded, especially in the lower level systems, because people upgrade their ships so they can reach places, but they don't always upgrade their miners. So then, you're either going to try and use a discovery, or you've got to use multiple officers like Grush and Scotty together on a miner just to get it out there. So now you've lowered your mining rate significantly. So now you're mining much slower and it's taking you longer. And as your dailies increase, like my dailies right now, I need 125,000 gas and ore because I'm dual faction grinding. That takes a while. I mine about 20,000 an hour, so it's not too terrible. And I'm lucky that one of the two is available to me in territory. So we have a G4 ore system. We have Barasa, so I can get that one pretty quick and at a much faster rate because it's in territory as well. And then I can just send one ship out to the farther areas. So 194 merged with 195, and now 195 and 197 are merged. Okay. So yeah, it's going to be, well, I wish you the best of luck. Hopefully, you guys have some fun, iron out some rules that most people can sort of live with and are happy with. Oh, the boss man's on. Otherwise, you'll probably just end up right back in the same spot, right? You hit Ops 40 about a week ago. Have only mined in deep space once or twice. Most of the time, all the nodes are full. Yep, that's kind of what we're starting to run into on our server as well. You head out there, and those first entry level systems that people first unlock and can get to. We'll get to them in a second here. So yeah, so these guys, these first two like entry level systems here, they only require warp 65 to get to. So if you have a decent faction miner and then you throw on a crew or two, or you have upgraded your Meridian, which gets like to warp 80, 85 pretty quickly, like tier 5 I think it is, there's the big jump in warp speed on the Meridian, or you use your Discovery and you disco out here and then summon in a miner. This system, every morning I wake up and I go, send a ship out here, and there's 12 or 15 nodes in each system, and probably I'd say 10 of them are 0 nodes. And it's like, well, I would love to just kill somebody and just take one of these, but AK's on. Okay. They're telling me they're giving me the green light. All right. Let them know that I'm running Troy and Lorca to try and soak up the damage. I can set. Let's do it. And then I'm going to bring the Jellyfish. Maybe I need to break out the Kelvin for this one. I don't like using the Kelvin, especially for things like this where I know I'm going to die in 2 or 3 turns. Because it's not like I'm going to do much more damage, and my repair bill is going to be exponentially higher. But I think for something like this, I kind of need to. Nope, that's the wrong ship. So then I don't really need to summon. I can actually make it there with the Kelvin. It'll get there in 6 minutes. We'll just send the Kelvin out. Well, congrats on hitting Ops 40, by the way, Andy. That's a big upgrade and a big change. Plan on. Yeah, deep space politics can get a little testy. And just because I'm curious to see if Beverly really even triggered against this exchange vault. 7,000 of each. Plus I got the chest. Ooh, nice. I got the chest. What's in it? 35 epics. Okay. Yeah, we didn't have much to go on that one, but I'm curious to. We went 11 rounds. Did my shields ever drop? Probably not. Nah, we just damaged right through that thing. There were three of us anyway, so it wasn't like I was getting hit very often. Oh, whose shields went down? My shields are still up. He had mud. His mud was triggering, reducing damage. But we're still critting for 500k because of Khan. And there's still a whole bunch of crits because I've been hit a few times, so Khan's really just doing all the damage. Chan's shields went down too. Did mine? I'm curious, did mine ever drop? Or did Beverly just keep them up long enough? Just kept renewing them just enough to keep them active. Yeah, I think my shield stayed up the whole time. PM to zero noder if they don't respond or refresh. They're fair game after 5 minutes. But if they don't get a message, yeah, they get upset about that. Yeah, we used to have that. You know, our rule for zero nodes in regular space is, it's fair game. You just have to send a message afterwards, and you better take a screenshot of it, because if they ask you for a screenshot and you don't have it, then it's considered a dirty hit. And then, you have to like make amends. Otherwise, alliances get testy and you get ROE strikes, and possibly it might get kicked out of your alliance, or your alliance might go to war with somebody else. I do appreciate the follow, Andy. Thank you very much for doing that. Trying to get up to that 150 mark. I'm at 124 now. I appreciate that. Yeah. It's like it's a video game. Games are supposed to be fun, right? But we just keep making them more and more complicated, and they get more and more like real life, and then they become more like work and more like a job, and then they stop being the fun distraction from the real life that they're intended to be. Nice to see someone else streaming. Don't get to see. Well, I guess with your time zone, because it's like tomorrow morning there for you, right? So it's Wednesday morning for you somewhere. I'm guessing if you're on Asia Pacific. If my time zones are correct, or my uh, international dateline, I think is the. Yeah, I get it. Every once in a while, like you'll have a player who's just like, "That's it. I'm tired of the rules," and they just kind of drop their alliance and go rogue and just start killing everything. And you understand that impulse. Yeah, it's 11 a.m. Oh, you're in Melbourne. Okay. Yeah, you understand that impulse sometimes, and then you just realize, you think about the all the time you've invested in the game, and then are you really going to be stuck playing it by yourself for a while if you end up on like a watch list or something for being a rogue player that nobody wants to take you in and deal with the headache. Let's claim this. Let's see what we got. I agree, Olympus. It really should just be about keeping it simple and fun. But people always like, the more people you get involved, the more people, the ideas get mutated and watered down and whatnot. And it really just becomes more complicated than it needs it to be, much like most governments. All right. So we'll do a little faction grinding here. Still keep killing these guys in Taiga Core while we're waiting for our Armada to go in 7 minutes. And then we will open up our epic chests, our G4 epic chest, because if we get it, I should have if we kill this thing, I should have enough credits to do that. Cross our fingers, we get some good ship blueprints out of that deal. That'll probably be where we end our stream after that. Now, if we die and I have to reset it, well, that's just what we're going to have to do. We'll stick on around a little longer so we can see the epic conclusion of it. But I've got my fingers crossed here that we're going to get it in one try. You know, epics are pretty strong. Looks like we got some of the bigger boys did show up. All right, so Stagic is here. He brought his Pilum. AN brought his Coronar, so that's pretty good. And then we got a Katinga and a Valdor here. Since I brought Troy, these guys should all have straight damage crews. That's my... Oh, never mind. Like, that's my discovery. What's that doing there? All right, so he's got straight damage on the Pilum. That's awesome. Let's take a look at this Coronar. He brought straight damage. Awesome. And then these guys over here should probably be the same crew, right? Yep, everybody's got straight damage crews. Awesome, awesome. Okay, he brought more of a mitigation crew with extra damage from LaForge. He does extra damage to Klingons. Getting a reward boost as well. And we got one more rolling up to the party. There's one more Pelum with another straight damage crew. So, okay, so we should be in pretty... One, two, three, four. Well, I could have brought the Jellyfish, I guess, based on what we've got here, but not going to go ahead and move it. So we should get this in one try. Move the Discovery out. Six is captain? No, usually it's five as captain. Most people have five as captain for the, and then six and con on the side. Yeah. So you get, so you've got 5 of 11 who's adding to shield deflection, armor, and dodge, so really boosting your mitigation, so you take a lot less damage. And 6 is giving him the synergy to give you the boost to that, plus then he's also increasing your penetration stats based on your attack. Khan has a crap ton of attack, as does 6 of 11. They both have very high attack stats, and then Khan also gives you, of course, the bonus crit chance every time you get hit. But if you're having a high mitigation, you're not taking as much damage, so you can absorb more hits. So con stacks and stacks and stacks, so the fight goes longer till eventually you get to the later rounds where all of your shots are just crit, 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 and you end up doing a lot of damage. Okay, so Nova showed up with his Pilum as well. We'll go ahead and star him in for that last spot. $90 versus that. Okay. This looks like a pretty good one. So let's scroll on over to Dram. I don't need the discovery there anymore. Normally run Kirksbach Con. Kirksbach is good for like the 30s. Um, Anything not in deep space. 38s, 39s. Obviously, those guys are strong. Plus, based on your officers and what tiers they are, those guys are good. But as you get into the ones in the deep space, uh, Spock just doesn't quite hold up. He doesn't regenerate enough shield health to really keep you alive when you're getting. I mean, we'll look at the battle log after this just to see what some of the shots are. So if you're getting, killed in 3 or 4 hits, Spock isn't going to offset that enough. Yeah. I've heard some people talking about Elden Ring in chat and on Facebook and stuff as well the last couple of days, but I'm not familiar with the game. Not something that I play, but certainly interesting. All right, so who missed? So Meekle missed, and who was that? I don't know who that was, but oops. All right, so I'm gonna die. Pretty confident I'm gonna die in this alliance, in this armada. Maybe not necessarily now. Now, if our guy who has the G5 epics was here, because uh, the, our one guy who's level 54, baller, lives up to his name. Um, so he's got this 65, 70 million North cut. So if he was here, I would be very confident I would live through this because he would just, do a lot of damage pretty quickly. I'll probably die, maybe 1 or 2 other people, but we should definitely get this. 90 versus 195 because of Troy. And the fact that this Armada is going to do 0 crits the entire time. Oh yeah, 5/6 con is good for just about any Armadas, but really kind of depends on. Yes, I died, but we succeeded. They're a little harder to tier up though, so it takes a little longer. But no, their stats are their abilities are still pretty strong and pretty good. They're a great crew for a Stella as well, um, for doing Stella Armadas. All right, so let's take a look. Well, first things first. So I died. 4 of the guys died. The other 2 sort of hung on and lived. So we'll give everybody time to repair. I got 6,000 credits just from that, but the setter's chest is the big benefit. That was good for 35.9 thousand Epic Armada credits. But if we look at the battle log here, so Troy goes off right off the bat, minus 15% critical chance for Armadas. This Armada should never, maybe at most, crit like once or twice, as opposed to normally where they crit once or twice per round, which is kind of a necessity for these 45 and up, or depending on your group, really. But these deep space Armadas that do a lot higher damage. I mean, 1.5 million per hit. You know, he's taken 155,000 hull damage just on the first shot. So there it is, 1.5 million. And if you're doing crits, and these are 3 million, 4 million hits, that's a lot more hull damage coming through, and especially it's going to chew through your shields faster, and then it's going to be a lot more hull damage coming through as well. So yeah, like look at this one. See, I got hit right. The bigger guns now fire. These are 3 million hits that would be critting for 5 or 6 million. Look at, there goes 2 million of my shield health. 2 million. I'm basically shields down at this point. And I've taken, yeah, there's my shields down by the round 2. And that's even with him not critting. So it's got these big guns that fire every other round. Yep, and there I'm destroyed in the end of round 3. So ooh. All right, let's see if there's another one there. Let's see if there's one in Dram. Hey, there is. This was the repair bill, which was 30 million tritanium and like 2 or 3 or 2 million dilithium. So let's see. And we'll let my alliance mates hit this one since they really need the credits. I was going to set another one to star them into it, but if they want to go ahead and set it, they can go right ahead and do that. I will switch ships though, because like I said, I mean, I died in round 3, so it's not like I'm the one making much of a difference. It's my abilities that were very helpful. So I'm going to switch to the Jellyfish, which has the much lower repair bill. But the Jellyfish can't make it this far. So we'll just do that real quick then. Oh, there's one in Fed space if I want to. The one in Fed space is also up. All right, so I did promise we would open up that epic chest. Let's see what we get. Alliance tab, G4 epic. I can only do the one. Do I want to wait? I'm not going to set the other one. And do a 2 chest pull. If I set the other one? Nah, I'm probably not going to end up doing it. We'll just set the one. We'll do the 1 chest. Let's see what we get. Hey, I got a Valdor blueprint. I think that brings me up to like 5. Woo, yay. 300 ore is good. 2,000 Romulan credits. That'll buy me another Valdor blueprint if I want. 200 rare Armada tactical cores is pretty good because I need quite a few of those to go from 42 to 43. I need 1950, so adding 200 more to that certainly helps out there. Where am I on Valdor blueprints? Explorer. Valdor. I've got 3. Okay. Full unlock of a G4 uncommon ship is about 196,000 faction credits. So anything you can do to get blueprints for these ships, whether it's through Epic Armada chests or the away team store, you can also buy them there. If you have the reputation, they show up as available for you. You can pick up blueprints there as well. If you have the faction rep and the ops level, you can get blueprints there at about 4,000 per blueprint. So I could get about 9 more here. So I, could get closer to a Valdor. But we'll fly over just in case. We'll see who's still around. Running 3 epics in a row is pretty rough. It's a lot of repair bills for the bigger guys. If they're doing the heavy lifting on a couple of these. But all right, so this one's got 10 minutes to go. While I'm waiting on that, I'll go ahead and wrap up the stream here. Thank you all very much for tuning in tonight. I always appreciate the support, appreciate having the conversations and just talking about the game in general with other people, finding out different things on different servers. Andy, good luck with your server merge. Hopefully that works out in your benefit. And there's the dog barking, letting me know it's time to go for a walk. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you around the galaxy.